been beaten by Oh So Sharp, but won over 1.25 miles at Goodwood. Number 2, Bella Calora. Behind her is Calorge, the one Gay Kellaway should be riding. Willie Carson does ride. Got to be only an outsider, really. She was 4th to Helenetta in the Cheshire Oaks. That's number 3, Calorge. And here is Leicester on Dance Machine. The last horse, or in this case filly, Lester Piggott, will ever ride in an Epsom Classic, where of course he's had such enormous success. Only had 2 runs, finished like a train in both of them, finished really well at Newbury, although beaten behind Merle. I think she could run very well, but the stable's riddled by a virus. Number 4, Dance Machine. And there's number 5, Domino's Nurse, Cash Asmussen, the American on this one. Homeward Bound won in these colours. Domino's Nurse isn't on the form book that good, but she won nicely last time out at Goren Park. Then my selection, Dubayan. She's looked unlucky in both her races this season for various reasons. She lost a tooth at the start in the last one, but finished really well. Almost certain to stay, and a half-sister, would you believe it, to the champion hurdler. See you then. Number 6, Dubayan. And there's the Keliniski, Sheikh Mohammed's second colours, the white cap, winner of the Marley Roof's Oaks trial at Lingfield, certain to get the trip, but over her too, the question mark hangs. John Dunlop's stable, hit by the virus. Have these 2 escaped? He thinks they have, but can't be absolutely certain. Number 9, Keliniski. Morning Devotion, rare to find Robert Sangster's colours without much of a chance, but although Morning Devotion ran really well as a 2-year-old, only 3 lengths behind Oh So Sharp, she's only had 1 run this season and did not run well in it on this course in the Princess Elizabeth. Number 10, the Mount of Tony Ives, Morning Devotion. And there she is, the favourite in Sheikh Mohammed's first colours. Looks really well, Oh So Sharp. She'd hardly come in her coat when she won the General Accident 1,000 guineas. Now she looks in tremendous form. If her stamina lasts, she's certainly the fastest and best filly in this field and has a great chance of completing the double for Henry Cecil and Steve Cawthon. Number 12, Oh So Sharp. There's Perfect Match, one of Mr. Claw's 2 runners, but this would be the second string to a triptyque. That's Perfect Match. Then in the colours of Captain Lemos, Petradia, the colours Supreme Leader carried so well. Behind there in the diamonds is Romantic Feeling, and this is Triptyque, one who's certain to love the ground. She won the Prix Marcel Boussac last year in really soft ground, but, and it's a big but, Triptyque is now running in her 4th classic race in just 37 days. She ran in the English 1000, the Irish 2000, then the English 1000, and now the English Oaks. That's a terrible lot of questions to ask of a filly, but this is a tough and good one, and she'll love the ground. Let's hear from a crick.
29 favourites have won the Oaks this century, and it's 7-4 against Oh So Sharp, making it number 30. 2 monkeys were seen for a very early, just before racing. That's £500 at 2-1, but 7-4. But the off-course firm William Hill are backing her, and that's holding the price at 7-4, though most bookmakers want to get her. Now, Dubayan is weak, out from 7-2, out to 9-2, but 1 professional punter, and I'm told it's not the Noble Lord, has had £2,000 each way, Dubayan at 9-2. Triptyque has touched 8, but it's now a 15-2 chance. That's Triptyque. There's been a bit of money for Dance Machine at 11-1 and 10-1. Kiliniski sweating appallingly going down here. That's on the slide from 8-1 out to 10-1. But the news down here, there is still sustained opposition to Oh So Sharp, and I can hear 5-1 Dubayan being called. That pro punter with £2,000 at 9-2 each way can't be happy at 5-1 Dubayan.
Well, there's the favourite. Number 12, Oh So Sharp. She's never been beaten. Won her 2 races, both at Newmarket this season. The second, of course, was the General Accident 1,000 guineas, and what a race she had to run to win it. As you can see, the arrow is marking Oh So Sharp, and she's still got an awful lot to do. Bella Calora, who meets her again today, is up in front with Alba Hathry, who since has run such a gallant race to win the Irish 1,000 guineas. And just look at the response Steve Cawthon gets from Oh So Sharp now. She's gone run past Triptyque. Triptyque can't do any more. Villicaya's improving fast on the outside, but not as fast as Oh So Sharp. Now, meeting the hill at Newmarket, she gives the proof which has suggested to so many people that she will stay the trip this afternoon. Just look at her finish up the hill. Bella Calora and Alba Hathry fighting it out in the lead, head to head. Here she comes, the posts coming up too. Oh So Sharp pushes her nose in front in the nick of time, with Villicaya fourth. A tremendous finish. Certainly that day I would say that Oh So Sharp needed a mile and a quarter, and it's entirely possible that she will get another 2 furlongs. But she's not really bred to do so. Her sire Chris was a miler, so the big question mark over the favourite remains. There's Bella Calora, who ran such a great race in that 1,000 guineas. She has since won over a mile and a quarter at Goodwood. Wasn't all that impressive, in fact, in the Sheraton Tower Loop Stakes, but she got the mile and a quarter well, and Michael Stout's full of hope, anyway, that she will stay. But Bruff Scott talked to Michael Stout before racing and asked him what he thought of Bella Calora's stamina.
No, I've got to have some doubts as well, you know. I mean, one's got to question her ability to get a mile and a half. I'm also a little bit worried about the Epsom course for her. But, you know, the owner is very keen to take his chance, and I think we're entitled to come and take our chance.
And your other filly, Morning Devotion, a filly who disappointed here as she ran earlier in the season.
Yes. She ran 2 very satisfactory races as a 2-year-old, and I thought she would win the Princess Elizabeth. She ran very, very badly, but did come home lame behind. So, you know, there was a reason for her failure. And she took a little bit of time. She came sound, but took a little time to work well again. And recently she has been working well. So there again, you know, we're sort of coming and taking our chance with her.
And do you realistically think you can turn things over with Morning Devotion?
I think Morning Devotion could run very well, but it just would have been nicer to have some positive evidence about her as a 3-year-old on the racetrack course.
I'll watch you from here.
I'll take it back, shall I? And there's Triptyque, this wonderfully tough ex-French mare, now trained in Ireland by David O'Brien. But before I go on talking about Triptyque, let's have a look at the betting.
Triptyque in the market at 13-2, opened up at 7-1. Oh So Sharp, the 6-4 favourite, and Dubai 9-2 from 7-2. Kalinsky is 10-1 from 8-1, and Dance Machine also a 10-1 chance, together with Bella Calora, the same price, 10-1. Morning Devotion 20-1, opened up at 14s. Perfect Match 33-1. Domino's Nurse is 50-1 from 33s, and Colorge another 50-1 chance. Romantic Feeling and Petradia both 66-1, all 12 quoted.
Well, as I told you, this filly, since May the 2nd, when she ran in the 1,000 guineas and could only finish 7th to Oh So Sharp, this is the 4th classic race that she's run in since May the 2nd. She won the Irish 2,000 guineas next, the Airlie Coolmore Irish 2,000 guineas, and we can see her doing that now. Celestial Bounty is in the lead as Triptyque starts her run, and as you can see, she outstays him really well. This was a tremendous performance. Sun Valley, in fact, finishes 3rd in the end and didn't pay Triptyque any particular compliment. That's Celestial Bounty in a version of the Sangster colours chasing her home, and Sun Valley in 3rd. Sun Valley hasn't run all that well since, but Triptyque won in great style that day. But she has been extremely busy ever since. In the Irish 1,000 guineas, she was well beaten behind Alba Hathry. Now, she's very, very likely to get the trip by Riverman out of the great mare Trillion. It was no wonder she cost $2 million, more than $2 million as a yearling. Pretty likely to get the trip, certain to appreciate the ground, but is she fresh enough? That's the question. Number 17, Triptyque. Behind her, the favourite. But let's try and find Dubayan if we can. There is Dubayan on the right of your picture there. Well, Dubayan was extremely unlucky, got a terrible run in the Princess Elizabeth Stakes here on this course at Epsom. Then she went up to York and ran in the Musidora Stakes, and that time she ran a really fine race. In front, a stable companion of Oh So Sharp, Fatter Flair, but just look at the ground Dubayan makes. Let's let her move on now. Fatter Flair, who had made all the running that day, stays on extremely well, but as you can see, over this 1.25 miles, Dubayan finishes in a style which strongly suggests that another 2 furlongs will be an advantage. She is, as I've told you, half-sister to the champion hurdle winner See You Then, so she ought to be right for stamina by high line out of a mare who's finished third in the Oaks. She can't quite get to Fatter Flair that day, but on the other hand, at the start of this race, she'd hit her head on the stalls and lost a tooth, which may well have put her off. I know that Alex Stewart is full of hope about this filly, and although Henry Cecil may well be confident that through Fatter Flair that Oh So Sharp can beat her, I'm much more confident about Dubayan's stamina than I am about Oh So Sharp's. She looks really well. She's ridden by Pat Edery, who's in great form. Number 6, Dubayan. Let's join John McCrinnick for a moment.
Dubayan is now out to 11-2. From 7-2 out to 11-2. There is no money for her here. Now, one office firm alone has had £35,000 on Oh So Sharp, and that's brought her into 6-4. One office firm alone are holding up the price of Oh So Sharp. Very tight is Bella Calora. 12-1 they've done, 11's going in, 10's probably the best price now, Bella Calora. Romantic Feeling, that's my wife the boobies each way tip. 66-1 Romantic Feeling, she fancies that, but this one-off horse firm is holding up Oh So Sharp. 6-4, 11-2 Dubayan and 7-1 Trip T.
And Lester Piggott, quite characteristically, has got off Dance Machine. I don't know whether there's something wrong with her tack. Actually, Lester very often gets off at the start. As you can see, this filly, an inexperienced filly, only having the third run of her life, she's sweating up quite a lot. She's had only 3 runs, as I say. The first, as a 2-year-old, was one of the most sensational things we showed on television all last season. Dance Machine was last with 2 furlongs to go at Newmarket, and then passed the whole of a huge field in about 100 yards, and one going away in extraordinary fashion. Then Lester rode her at Newbury, and frankly didn't give a tremendously great ride. She didn't see a lot of daylight, but when she did see some, she finished really strongly. Only third to Merle, and behind Perfect Match, but I think absolutely certain to reverse that form if she hasn't sweated away her chance. But she certainly is getting into a rare old state. That's Leicester's last classic ride, we think at any rate. Number 4, Dance Machine. Last classic ride at Epsom, I should say. The second string from John Dunlop, I beg his pardon, and for Sheikh Mohammed. Kiliniski won the Lingfield trial over the full 1.5 distance really well. Slip Anchor did that in the Derby trial. It worked out for him. Who knows? It might work out for her. But, it's a big but, John Dunlop is very, very worried because all the other horses in his 200-horse yard have got the virus. He hopes these 2 have escaped, but he can't be sure. Number 9, Brian Rice on Kiliniski. And there, in the Sangster colours, is Morning Devotion. You heard Michael Stout telling you how she came back lame after that very disappointing race in the Princess Elizabeth Stakes on this course. She ran really well as a 2-year-old, only 3 lengths behind Oh So Sharp. But if you back her, there's a lot of guesswork involved. There's number 10, Morning Devotion, ridden by Tony Ives, and here's a full show of the betting.
Oh So Sharp, the 6-4 favourite, Dubayan 5-1, Triptyque 13-2. Kalinsky a 10-1 chance, with Dance Machine and Bella Calora also at 10s. Morning Devotion 25-1, Perfect Match at 40s. Domino's Nurse and Calorge both at 50-1 chances. Romantic Feeling 66-1, and Petradia's gone out to 100-1, the outside of the field, and all 12 show.
Yes, I think you've got to make Petradia and indeed Romantic Feeling outsiders. They both won their last races, but they weren't really Oaks trials. Petradia won a little race at Chepstow, and Romantic Feelings was at Salisbury. It'll be quite a considerable surprise if they get into the shake-up. There is Romantic Feeling in the diamonds and the big white breast girth going into the stalls. I don't think there are I don't think they're kicking out horribly. Romantic feeling there. I hope she hasn't hurt herself. And Dance Machine is also giving problems. There's Dubayan and Bella Calora. Very quick words from John McCrig.
Earol, 6-4 oh so sharp. Dubain's back to 5-1, 8-1 Triptyque, 10-1 Bar. Bit of money for the rag. Domino's Nurse at 50-1 and 66. Double Carpet, 33 they're calling in places. Domino's Nurse.
Well, let's hope there's not a double carpet result. Good luck to Steve Cawthon and all the rest. Over to you, Graham Good.
For this Gold Seal Oaks, mile and a half, of course, and just an anxious moment down at the start with Leicester and Dance Machine, but he's now safely in the plate and goes quite sweetly into the stalls. In fact, in Dubai, and the last to go in, up on the very wide outside, although from this camera angle, it's nearest to us. Just a small but select field for this Gold Seal Oaks, but you can see there the legs anxious to get into action. And they're under orders and they're away, and a pretty level break too. And up on the inside, Domino's Nurse goes quite quickly away, and also Romantic Feeling. And behind these comes Triptyque, and through the first furlong, it's now Romantic Feeling who goes on from Domino's Nurse in second place. Petralia on the left of the picture. Then just in behind these comes Perfect Match. Oh so sharp, the favourite in good position. So too Leicester Piggott on Dance Machine. The back marker at this stage is Kalorge and Willie Carson. And also towards the rear is Mohammed second string Kiliniski. So at the end of the first two furlongs, and it's Romantic Feeling from Petralia, then Perfect Match and Dance Machine and Oh So Sharp and Bella Calora, and then comes Domino's Nurse, and behind these Triptyque and Morning Devotion. Then Dubai, and the second favourite, makes up a bit of ground on the outside of Kiliniski. But the favourite, Oh So Sharp, in a good position with Steve Cawthon, who's on the outside of Leicester Piggott and Dance Machine. But it's Romantic Feeling in the lead with Petralia up on the outside of her. Then just on the outside of her comes Triptyque, who's going well. On the extreme left of the picture is Kiliniski, but some way off the pace. They're at the top of the hill. They've got just over 7 to race, and it's Romantic Feeling from Petralia, then Perfect Match and Triptyque, and followed by Dance Machine and Oh So Sharp, the favourite going well, Bella Calora going well. But the jockeys are taking things very steady as they begin the descent. They're at the halfway stage in the Gold Seal Oaks. Next to the rails, Romantic Feeling, Petralia, Triptyque going as well as any in third place, but Oh So Sharp, Steve Cawthon just nibbling along back and forth. And behind these, Dubayan, who's made good ground up on the outside. And then comes next to the rails, Dance Machine, and they've got just over 4.5 to race. They begin the descent to Tattenham Corner. Romantic Feeling in the lead, and Petralia now going on from Triptyque in second place. So it's Petralia from in second place, Triptyque, Romantic Feeling in third, Oh So Sharp is 4, Dubayan is 5. And then comes a Perfect Match, and behind these, Morning Devotion, Kiliniski running wide. They're round Tattenham Corner, and this time they're spreading right across the centre of the track, and with 3 to race, it's Triptyque who goes on from Oh So Sharp, the favourite, Dubai, Bella Calora coming fast too, and behind these, Petralia, who's losing a pitch, just over 2 to race, and the favourite, Oh So Sharp, throws down the challenge for Triptyque, but coming fast on the stands rails is Dubai, and they've got a furlong and a half to go, and Steve Cawthon strikes the front and goes for home. And the race looks all over in a matter of strides. This is an impressive turn of foot shown by Oh So Sharp. She's drawn away from Triptyque, Dubai back in third place inside the final furlong, and it's Oh So Sharp, the 6-4 favourite. Steve Cawthon and Henry Cecil on a real high this week. It's Oh So Sharp who wins the Gold Seal Oaks. Oh So Sharp, the winner, Triptyque second, Dubai in third, then Kiliniski 4, Bella Calora 5. Domino's Nurse came 6, and behind these came Perfect Match, Morning Devotion, Petralia, and then came Romantic Feeling, Kalorge, and last of all, oh, what a disappointing run by Leicester on Dance Machine. He finished last of all, but Oh So Sharp at 6-4 has won the Gold Seal Oaks, and what an amazing week for Henry Cecil, her trainer, and her jockey, champion jockey Steve Cawthon. They slipped in the Ever-Ready Derby with Slip Anchor, and they've looked oh so sharp to win this Gold Seal Oaks. It was unbelievable the amount of the lightning acceleration that Oh So Sharp showed. A daughter of Crease, owned by Sheikh Mohammed, trained at Newmarket by Henry Cecil, ridden by Steve Cawthon, Steve's 59th winner of the season, his first win in an Oaks. He'd finished second on 2 previous occasions, but of course this is his 3rd classic victory of the year, and if Slip Anchor wins the St Leger, well, by gum, he has equalled Leicester's 4 classics, which he achieved back in 1970. So Oh So Sharp, the winner. Second was number 17, Triptyque, ridden by Christy Roach. What a tremendous run she's given, going very well on this fast ground. Officially, it's a photo for second place. I think we'll find that Dubai was third, and that with the Washington Kilinitsky finish fast of all to get fourth place close home. But just look at the amazing turn of foot that this Oh So Sharp showed. Let's review the closing stages.
Well, they've been saying for ages at Newmarket that this is a brilliant filly. She's never really quite shown this degree of brilliance before on the racecourse, but by gum, she does so now. Just at this stage, Steve Cawthon is just nudging Oh So Sharp along. Triptyque and Christy Roach have gone past Petradia, and Triptyque obviously trying to make, or Christy Roach trying to make Triptyque's stamina pay, and what a game effort she makes. But look at the favourite. She's now got into exactly the right challenging position. Steve Cawthon picks up his whip, gives her a slap, calls for the real effort. Dubai in third place, can't do any more, and the other Sheikh Mohammed colours can't get there either. Now, look at the acceleration. This is what we've been told she had, Oh So Sharp, and she produces it when it matters most. The ground doesn't worry her, the last furlong doesn't worry her. She goes steadily away from Triptyque. A really marvellous victory. Henry Cecil and Steve Cawthon become the fourth trainer-jockey combination to complete the Derby and Oaks double since the war. And there's a triumphant Steve Cawthon coming in, Oh So Sharp, understandably, just a little bit apprehensive of the tremendous welcome she's getting, but how she deserves it. They said, or Henry Cecil has said, that she might be another Petit Etoile, and, well, you can see exactly what he means.
So Oh So Sharp maintains her unbeaten record, and when she turned into the home straight, don't forget she was stretching into unknown territory. She'd never raced in public over a mile and a half before, and she'd never raced in private over a mile and a quarter. So the big doubters had this problem of her stamina in the final quarter mile, and there she's being led in by her owner, Sheikh Mohammed. This is a truly remarkable win by this daughter of Chris, whom the owner bred at the Dalham Farm stud. This is her moment. Let's enjoy it with her. So Steve Cawthon on a real high with Oh So Sharp and comes down to earth. He'll be riding at Warwick tonight. It's work. Let's look at the SP.